Every Halloween, our town puts a scarecrow in the square. This year, it looked like me. Havens End was the kind of town people drove through, not to. We were famous for three things: the oldest grist mill this side of the state, the best late-season apples, and the yearly tradition of the Harvest Sentinel. That's what they called the scarecrow we put up in the center of the square every November 1st, a tall, imposing figure meant to celebrate the changing season. I'd seen a lot of them in my 29 years, but none of them ever looked back at me the way this one did. The sentinel was supposed to be anonymous: burlap sack for a head, old overalls, cheap straw, but sometimes people got creative. Last year, they'd used a fisherman's coat, and everyone joked it looked like Old Man Tiber, who had finally packed up and moved south the following spring. It was just a weird coincidence, right? That's what we always told ourselves in Havens End. Things happen, people leave. This year, November 1st was a Saturday. I was walking back from Liam's hardware store, a bag of pipe fittings clanging against my thigh. The square was already busy, townsfolk admiring the new sentinel. It was the tallest one I'd ever seen, maybe 8 feet high, perched atop a hay bale stack. I stopped at the corner to take a look, and a cold dread started working its way into my gut. It wore a navy blue fleece jacket, the same kind I'd bought on a trip up north 2 years ago, the one Sarah always complained about because the zipper was broken. More unnervingly, the head, usually a simple sack, was now meticulously layered with shredded straw and stained fabric that somehow managed to approximate my shaggy brown hair and beard line. It was too accurate to be accidental. And the eyes, two mismatched buttons, one black, one dull bronze, were fixed right on the street corner where I was standing. Liam came jogging up behind me, oblivious. "Hey, Ethan, what did you think of this year's monstrosity? Old Betsy went all out, didn't she?" I just stared. "Liam, look at it. Really look." He leaned in, squinting. "Yeah, it's big. Kinda creepy face this time. Think she used some of that old netting from the mill? Looks like a mop." "It's the jacket, Liam," I said, my voice thin. "The blue fleece. Look at the right sleeve, near the cuff. See the patch of white thread?" Liam finally noticed. "Oh, yeah, it's got that weird stitching. That's where I burned a hole with a soldering iron when I was fixing the circuit board for the town clock last winter. I mended it myself. Nobody else has that jacket." "Nobody." Liam laughed nervously. "Come on, man. That fleece is common. And the stitching, it's a small town, people sew things up the same way." But his eyes kept flicking back to the scarecrow, and the laughter didn't quite reach them. "And the hair?" I insisted, turning to face him. "That's my haircut. Messy, needs a trim. And those ridiculous hiking boots. The ones Sarah calls clown shoes. Those are mine, Liam. I lost them when I was cleaning out the storage shed at the community center last week." The silence stretched between us, thick and heavy. A couple walked by and gave us a wide, unsettling smile that didn't feel friendly at all. "Okay," Liam muttered, shifting his weight. "Okay, it's a little strange. But Ethan, you've been stressed. With the bank rejecting your loan application to buy the old mill, and then that zoning board argument." He trailed off. "Maybe someone is just messing with you. A really elaborate, weird joke. A joke about me losing my business and my boots?" I snapped. "No, this isn't a joke. This is a warning." I took a step toward the scarecrow, wanting to tear the jacket off, to see what was underneath, but Liam grabbed my arm. "Don't. Not now. If it is a joke, you don't want to look unhinged. Come on, let's go get a beer and talk about your dad's ridiculous plan to expand the church parking lot instead." I let him pull me away. But as we walked, I kept looking over my shoulder. The straw figure stood motionless, draped in my discarded clothing, its two mismatched eyes staring me down the street. I felt utterly exposed, like the whole town square was holding its breath, waiting for me to make my move. Liam's attempt to distract me failed spectacularly. After an hour of trying to pretend everything was normal, I went home, ignored Sarah's greeting, and headed straight for the dusty boxes in the attic. If this scarecrow tradition was what I feared, it wouldn't be the first time it happened. I was looking for old copies of the Havens End Weekly Gazette. I pulled out issues from before I was born, flipping through them until I found a photo from 1989. There was the Harvest Sentinel, shorter, bulkier. Underneath, the caption mentioned the annual Harvest Festival and noted, almost as an afterthought, that Mayor Hollis had resigned abruptly that spring and moved to the city. I called Liam later that night. I found a picture, I whispered, hunched over the phone so Sarah wouldn't hear me from the living room. 1989. The Scarecrow that year wore a suit jacket and a gold tie pin. So? Lots of people wear suits, Liam said, sounding tired. The newspaper article mentions Mayor Hollis resigning suddenly and moving away. Hollis wore that exact tie pin, Liam. The big, obnoxious gold one. And in 95, there's another picture. The Scarecrow had a distinctive blue apron. That was the year the Petersons shut down the bakery and vanished overnight. Stop, Ethan. You're connecting dots that aren't there, he pleaded. Hollis was corrupt, the Petersons had massive debt. They left because of real problems, not some straw doll. But who made the Scarecrow look like them, Liam? Who decided they were the ones who needed to be reminded they weren't welcome? I felt a surge of adrenaline, part fear and part strange exhilaration at finally connecting the pieces. The exhilaration was immediately extinguished when my dad, Robert, walked into the kitchen. He was a man of the town council, his face permanently etched with the disappointment he held for my lack of ambition. Ethan, what's all this mess? He demanded, pointing at the scattered papers. And why are you lurking in the dark? Sarah's worried about you. I hung up on Liam and stood up, clutching the old newspaper. Dad, I need to ask you about the Harvest Sentinel. He chuckled, a dry, dismissive sound. What about it? Creepier than usual, I suppose. Betsy always does a fine job, but this year she went a bit too far with the detail. The detail is why I'm asking, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. It's wearing my blue fleece, Dad. My boots. The one with the hole I burned. His face hardened instantly. And? Did you report your boots missing? It's Halloween season, boy. People borrow things, people make models. You're getting worked up over nothing. It's not nothing. Every time the Scarecrow is specific, someone leaves town. Hollis, the Petersons, even poor, sweet Mrs. Albright in 05. The year she moved to Florida, the Scarecrow had her reading glasses tucked into its pocket. I remember you saying they were the last thing she owned. He walked over to the counter and picked up a glass of water, taking a slow, deliberate sip. He didn't look at me. Mrs. Albright left because her arthritis got bad and Florida was warmer. People leave Haven's End because they can't make a decent living here, Ethan. That's the only tradition around here. I felt the argument bubble up, the years of unspoken friction finally breaking the surface. You know something, Dad. You're part of the council. Who chooses the Scarecrow's theme? Who makes it? He slammed the glass down, water sloshing over the edge. Watch your tone, young man. I don't know who makes it. It's an anonymous thing, a tradition. And you know what? If it looks like you, maybe you should ask yourself why. You tried to fight the zoning board on the new community center. You haven't held a steady job since the internet company folded. And now you're running around the house like a lunatic instead of focusing on a real career. Haven's End is built on stability. We don't tolerate those who disrupt things. His words hit me like a physical shove. So, I'm a disruption? Is that what the Scarecrow is saying? That the whole town has collectively decided I need to pack up and get out? I didn't say that, he said, turning away. But I wouldn't be surprised if some people feel that way. Stop the dramatics, put those old papers away, and go apologize to Sarah. You're making a spectacle. I stood there, the paper in my hand trembling. He hadn't denied the tradition, he'd justified the reason for it. The Scarecrow wasn't just a coincidence, it was the town's collective will made manifest, a chilling, silent threat delivered by my own community. And my father was entirely fine with it.